Mama Bluder, Lisa Bluder, had some explosive words in an interview in regards to Caitlin Clark. This is major. This just proves exactly why Stephanie White is not the coach for Caitlin Clark.
We need to talk about this because Lisa Bluder just gave an interview that didn't just catch people's attention. It revealed deeper issues. It fully exposed what's been going wrong with the way Stephanie White has been coaching the exceptional Caitlin Clark.
Our concerns in a major way. We watched a lot of the nonsense that Stephanie White pulled with Caitlin Clark last season. Okay, she came in here and completely messed up the offense, brought in a bunch of vets that Natasha Howard's talking about winning MVP. DeWanna Bonner showed up and scammed the team. She had Aaliyah Boston playing point guard, Caitlin Clark playing small forward. Mama Bluder addressed what needs to happen for Caitlin Clark, and she pretty much exposed.
The former Iowa coach, the one who helped turn Clark into a superstar, didn't hold anything back when explaining what it really takes to get the most out of a player with that level of talent. And here's the wild part. Every principle and piece of advice she shared was completely the opposite of what we've seen Stephanie White do with the Indiana Fever.
What do you think is, I'm so curious about this because coaches have such a unique insight into the mind, the talent, and the physicality. Like, you see them on such a...
This might be one of the harshest critiques of a coach's approach we've seen in quite some time. What makes it hit even harder is that it comes from the one person who truly understands Caitlin Clark's game at the deepest level. So let me ask you, drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Should the Indiana Fever take a bold step, part ways with Stephanie White, and do everything they can to bring Lisa Bluder out of retirement to coach Caitlin Clark the way she truly should be coached?
Fear of failure, and that, I think, allows her to really put herself out there and risk, like with those threes and with some of those unbelievable passes that other people be like, you know, I might fail. There's none of that with her. And then she works her butt off, quite honestly. I mean, the kid works. She's in the gym. You know, she takes care of all the things mentally as well as physically. She's learned how to do that, take care of her body. You know, first you didn't maybe eat the best, you know.
All right, let's dive straight into it. Lisa Bluder recently did a major interview with Treat Media, and she revealed some striking insights about Caitlin Clark and exactly what it takes to coach her the right way. And here's the key part. Whether she meant to or not, Bluden's comments ended up sounding like a detailed, point-by-point critique that highlighted every major strategic mistake Stephanie White has made since becoming head coach of the Indiana Fever.
Our concerns in a major way. We watched a lot of the nonsense that Stephanie White pulled with Caitlin Clark last season. Okay, she came in here and completely messed up the offense, brought in a bunch of vets that Natasha Howard's talking about winning MVP. DeWanna Bonner showed up and scammed the team. She had Aaliyah Boston playing point guard, Caitlin Clark playing small forward. Mama Bluder addressed what needs to happen for Caitlin Clark, and she pretty much exposed.
When you really listen to what Bluder is saying, the interview comes across as a complete masterclass on how to manage and unlock the full potential of a once-in-a-generation player. What makes it so striking is that her approach is the exact opposite of everything Stephanie White has put in place since the very beginning. So let's break it down, starting with Bluden's thoughts on Clark's intense competitiveness and her total fearlessness on the court.
She's an unbelievable competitor, and I don't care what you're playing. Like, and she was a great soccer player, and she really.
I know, I've heard that.
Yeah, and she attributes a lot of her passing angles to learning that on the soccer field, and it's so true. Like, she is the best. Every time, you know, 3-point shooting, she is the best passer. It's amazing.
Bluder started by highlighting that Caitlin is an incredible competitor who truly hates losing, no matter the situation. It doesn't matter if it's something as simple as checkers or a quick game of Uno. She's always going all in with one goal: to win every single time. That mindset is just part of who she is. But the most important takeaway for her basketball career is what Bluder shared about Clark having absolutely no fear of failure. That's the foundation of what makes her so unique, and it's something you really need to focus on. Bluder explained that Clark's willingness to take big risks and put herself on the line is exactly what allows her to hit those deep logo threes and deliver pinpoint passes that most players wouldn't even think about attempting. Clark doesn't operate with that hesitation in her mind, the kind of voice that says, "I might fail, so I shouldn't even try." Instead, she commits fully, relying on her instincts and natural ability without second-guessing herself. That fearlessness and unwavering confidence are a huge part of what makes her special. It's essentially the driving force behind her greatness, and if you try to suppress it, you end up limiting the very player you're trying to develop. Now, when you contrast that with Stephanie White's coaching style, the difference is pretty stark. White tends to lean toward a more conservative, control-oriented approach. She prefers a slower, more structured half-court offense where she can manage every possession and dictate the flow, almost like a college system that emphasizes patience and tight control rather than pace and freedom. This approach is the complete opposite of what a player like Caitlin Clark needs to truly flourish and take over games. Clark's game is built on spontaneity, creativity, and calculated high-risk, high-reward decisions. She spots passing lanes that most players don't even see and confidently pulls up from distances that would discourage almost anyone else, but she makes it work because of her elite skill level. Lisa Bluder understood that perfectly. Her strength was simply allowing Clark to be herself. She trusted her to play freely, make mistakes, and learn from them without fear of being constantly restricted or pulled for taking risks. Stephanie White, however, approaches things very differently. From the start, she tried to reshape how the Fever operate. She brought in veterans who didn't necessarily align with the team system or long-term direction, and she installed a slower, more controlled offensive style that naturally reduces Clark's ability to push tempo and create chaos in transition. At times, Aaliyah Boston was even used in roles that looked like point guard responsibilities, which didn't really align with traditional positioning or maximize her strengths. There were also lineups where Clark was shifted into a small forward role, creating a confusing overall structure on the floor. From that perspective, the system often looked disorganized and inconsistent early on. And the bigger concern, at least from this viewpoint, is that the emphasis on tight control and structure may end up limiting the very qualities that make Caitlin Clark exceptional: her creativity, improvisation, and ability to create moments of brilliance in real time. The key issue being raised is that those instincts and that free-flowing style are not something you can suppress without also diminishing what makes her an elite, generational talent. The core issue being highlighted is simple. Lisa Bluder's interview reinforces everything needed to unlock Caitlin Clark's full potential: freedom, pace, creativity, and trust. While critics argue that Stephanie White's approach has leaned more toward control, structure, and a slower system that doesn't fully match Clark's strengths. Under Bluder at Iowa, Clark was empowered to lead the offense, play freely, and grow through experience, which helped her and the team thrive. In contrast, the concern is that Indiana's system has been more rigid and less centered around maximizing her natural playmaking style, leading to debate about whether the current coaching approach is the right fit for a generational talent like her.